A while ago, television stumbled across a formula that for once actually managed to stick. Take someone who has absolutely no business being near a crime scene, say a writer or a forensic anthropologist, and pair them up with law enforcement. Add a dash of awkward chemistry, quirky intellect, and some vague justification for why they're not in cuffs for tampering with evidence, and you get Castle and Bones. One gave us a cocky crime novelist living out his plot lines, the other gave us a brilliant but socially inept scientist, solving murders through skeletal reconstructions and dry wit. Both ran for years, both had dedicated fan bases, and both made crime solving feel like a weekly rom-com with chalk outlines. Welcome to the Snake Pit, where we are full of bile and venom. I'm your host, Snake Damon, and today we're talking about a show that tried to ride that same wave long before it was cool, but did it with prosthetics, pyrotechnics, and fake blood. This is the bizarre, underrated oddity that is FX the series. Based on the criminally underappreciated films FX and FX2, the series follows Rollie Tyler, played by Cameron Daddo, a special effects guru whose day job of blowing up cars for movies somehow turns into a side gig with the NYPD. His partner in season 1 is Detective Leo McCarthy, played by Kevin Dobson, an old-school Irish cop with a grizzled charm and a fondness for bending rules in the name of justice, which, used to be the default setting for TV detectives. Together, they solve cases in the most ludicrous ways possible. Episode 1, titled The Illusion, kicks things off with Rollie staging a criminal's death to protect a witness. Other episodes include faking an entire crime scene to draw out a killer, crafting a lifelike animatronic puppet to impersonate a hostage, and using holograms, fake blood, and stunt wire to trap a serial killer. Yes, this was basically Mission Impossible meets Law & Order, filtered through a Canadian production lens and drenched in 90s tech buzz. The show's tone walked a tightrope between absurdity and sincerity. Rollie wasn't a snarky anti-hero. He was earnest, weirdly grounded, and apparently the kind of guy who'd risk his life just to test out a new smoke bomb. Cameron Daddo played him with just enough charisma to keep you watching, even when the plots went off the rails. Kevin Dobson's McCarthy brought some solid gravitas to the table, grounding the more ridiculous elements with that I've seen some things vibe. It was a dynamic that shouldn't have worked, but kind of did until it didn't. See, season 2 did what so many shows do when they panic. It yanked the foundation. McCarthy was killed off and replaced by Mira Sanchez, played by Jacqueline Torres, a tough by-the-book cop who didn't have the same spark with Rollie. Not because the actors lacked chemistry, but because the formula had shifted from fun capers with a touch of emotional grit to something flatter, more routine. And then there's the supporting cast. Christina Cox, who you'd recognize from The Crow's Stairway to Heaven and later seen kicking ass in Blood Ties, pops in as a recurring tech expert. Sherry Miller adds some emotional weight as Angie, Rollie's love interest. Jason Blicker plays Detective Francis Gatti, the comic relief in a show that already felt like it was 3 degrees from slapstick. You get the sense everyone involved wanted to make it work. It's just that the script started reading like someone fed VHS copies of MacGyver and NYPD Blue into a blender. So, what happened? Why did FX the series only last 2 seasons? Well, it was syndicated, meaning it aired wherever networks felt like dumping it, and that's always a death sentence for anything remotely serialized. Combine that with inconsistent tone, waning budgets, and a premise that was already stretching believability, and you've got a cult classic buried under stronger competition like Highlander, Xena, and Hercules. You know, the ones with better marketing and slow-motion sword fights. And honestly, this is one of those shows I completely missed in its original run. It faded into the background noise of 90s syndicated TV, and only now, thanks to internet sleuthing and bootlegs from DVD distributors in countries I'd struggle to locate on a map, I've been able to see it, and you know what? It's charming. A bit stiff, sure. Sometimes the acting is flatter than the latex props Rollie builds in his warehouse, but it has that unmistakable cheap and cheerful vibe. The kind of show where it's clear everyone's doing their best with a rubber dinosaur and a warehouse full of smoke machines. It doesn't insult your intelligence, it doesn't preach, and it doesn't try to sell you a message wrapped in moral platitudes. It just wants to show you a guy faking his own death to catch a jewel thief. And honestly, that's all I need sometimes. Thanks for dropping by the Snake Pit, where we thrive on untapped potential and lost opportunities. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that bell like the video. And leave your opinions in the comments, where naturally I won't read them. Until next time, stay venomous.